Hi, everyone. So my name is Ishrat, and I am from the Office of Accessibility Services from Queensborough Community College. And here I'll be presenting to you. Um, our team would be presenting to you about Jamworks, then some of its um, w- um, like its key points of students' assistance. Then I would go through the inclusive learning of Jamworks. Then I will go through the um, uh, disadvantages of using Jamwork. Then there would be an overview of Glean. We would go through pros and cons of Glean. Then we would go through comparing Jamworks and Glean. Then there would be a summary and key points on Jamworks. Then there would be a takeaway, and all the way in the end, we would have the question answer session. So let's go forward to the next slide. Yes, there you go. So Jamworks is an AI note-taking app. So it is a smart study tool that uses artificial intelligence to make learning easier. So it can record classes, meetings, then automatically create notes, summaries, and even audio highlights. Can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, so it also organizes materials into topics, makes chapter summaries, and generates flashcard questions for studying. So Jamworks is very useful for students as students struggle to keep up with lectures due to various challenges such as fast-paced teaching, difficulty in taking comprehensive notes, and other overwhelming amount of informations presented. So Jamworks addresses these challenges by providing organized and easy accessible study materials, saving students time and helping them better understand and remember the content. So Jamworks supports multiple languages. It combines with all major learning management systems, and it can also be purchased as individual licenses or site-wide, like organization like ours, like college and educational systems. Can we move to the next slide, please? So how Jamworks assists students in note-taking? So the first thing is it highlights, it automatically detects topics and creates chapters. So this makes it easy for students to recap moments that didn't understand or revisit topics they're most interested in. Each chapter can be reviewed as a subtitled video clip, an audio snippet, or an AI summary note. It summarizes each chapter and key points from the classes. The transcript from each chapter is converted into a bite-sized summary note to help comprehension. Also, the AI generates a list of key points along with an explanation and some bullet points for each topic or each chapter. Then it simplifies, records entire lectures, seminars, or study meetings. Sometimes we do not understand the lectures and topics discussed in class, maybe because they're complex. So Jamworks turns those complex speeches into clear and easy to understand study notes. This helps to grasp the concept better. Then Jamworks tracks back. So it helps the user to jump back in 15-second increments to start highlighting from the point if the user lost concentration and missed out on any information. So at times we miss out on some important information. So Jamworks helps in easily jumping back in those times in short increments to the moment where the information is lost. So this way, the student can catch up on what they missed out without any hassle. Jamworks also helps in captioning, like real-time captioning of conversations for lectures, seminars, study materials, and researches. Jamworks uses speech-to-text technology to provide live captioning. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, so Jamworks' commitment to inclusive learning. So when we talk about inclusive learning, we are talking about broadening learning opportunities for everyone. So Jamworks focuses on making sure that everyone, all students, no matter their abilities or how they learn or their learning styles, feels included in their education. That's why Jamworks have created special features just for students who learn differently. So their platforms are designed to be easily usable for everyone, with options to change. Supposedly, it has an option to change things like text size or color to make it work better for every student. Jamworks wants everyone to have the same chance to do well, so they are working to make sure their platform is helpful for everyone. Can we move to the next slide, please? So the drawbacks. We went through some very usefulnesses of Jamworks, which comes with some drawbacks as well. So one of the drawbacks of Jamwork is we over-reliance on AI accuracy, of course. There's a risk of relying too much on its accuracy. We know AI is incredibly helpful in generating notes, summaries, and other study materials, but end of the day, it's not perfect. There might be times when AI misinterprets information or makes errors or mistakes in transcription or summarization. Therefore, users should be, especially students, should be more careful not to blindly trust the AI-generated content without verifying its accuracy from a relevant, trustworthy source. We have privacy and data security concerns for sure. So as Jamworks and any other AI powered platforms collect and processes a significant amount of data information, it creates concern that the privacy and security of the data. So users might share sensitive information such as lecture recordings, notes, personal study habits. So it is important for these platforms to have strong privacy policies and security safeguard for the user data from unauthorized access, misuse, or breaches. Students should carefully review the privacy settings and terms of services of these platforms and software to understand how their data is being used and protected. So end of it, it is a new business for sure. So Jamworks was founded in 2020 in UK. So Jamworks and similar AI-based learning platforms represent a new cut-edge technology, especially in the education sector. It's been a new business. It means there might be uncertainties and challenges in terms of stability, reliability, and usage lifespan. Users may encounter bugs, glitches, changes in features as the platform evolves and matures and upgrades over time. Can we go to the next slide? And that would be the Glean, and it would be presented by John. Over to you, John. You're muted.
Hello? Do you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is John. I'm also one of the CATS team members for our Queensborough Community College. And I'll be going over the pros and cons of Glean. Could you go to the next page, please, Tanya? Okay, so Glean is a professional recording and transcription software designed for efficient note-taking in meetings, lectures, and interviews. So it's a similar thing to Jamworks, but it has way less features. So can you go to the next page? As for the pros of Glean, it has a accurate transcription, meaning that it could boast high accuracy in transcribing recorded audio, minimizing the need for manual corrections. It's efficient in note-taking, which means that it allows the users to take notes directly alongside transcriptions, facilitating easy reference and organization. Its search functionality feature that allows the users to search through both transcription and notes, making it convenient to find specific information within the recorded content. It has a customizable playback speed, which the users can adjust, enabling them to have a faster review of a recorded content or a slower playback in case they don't understand something and they need a better comprehension of it. It has a cloud integration feature, which means that it allows the users to access recordings and transcriptions from multiple devices. The collaboration feature for Glean, which allows Gleans to enable multiple users to access and edit recordings and notes simultaneously. It has a user-friendly AI, which offers a intuitive and easy-to-use interface, making it accessible for individuals with varying levels of technical expertise. Could you go on to the next page? As for the cons of Glean, it's heavily internet dependency, meaning that while if you don't have a stable internet connection or you're in an area that has a poor connectivity signal, some functionalities of Glean may not work. Privacy concerns, as with any cloud-based service, there may be concerns about data privacy and security, particularly with sensitive recordings and transcriptions. A limited language support. So while Glean supports multiple languages, its accuracy may vary depending on the language being transcribed. Audio quality dependency, which the accuracy of the transcription heavily relies on the quality of the audio recording, or audio quality may result in a less accurate transcription. There's a learning curve. So while the UI is generally user friendly, there may still be a learning curve for users who are not accustomed to recording and transcription software, and compatibility issues, which means that while various devices and operating systems may be limited, potentially excluding some users depending on their setup. So overall for Glean, the pros is that it's a accurate and efficient note taking, but the biggest downside is that because it relies on the internet, if you're in a area where you have poor signal, you may not be able to get a accurate and good quality transcription or the audio recording. So those are pretty much it for Glean. Melissa?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Melissa. I am also part of the CATS team, and I will be showing you guys a side-by-side view of both softwares. So here, I will be starting off with the notes section. Glean has a rather simple user interface. I wrote the same notes on both just so you can see the difference between the two. So for Glean, we see that our notes are timestamped, and you have the option of adding headings, marking things as important, and marking things for review. On the contrast, Jamworks notes are sectioned off in time intervals and by subsections. Also in the overall user interface, we see that the notes are on the left for Glean, and you can toggle between audio and transcript. Can you go to the next slide, please? This is the transcription view for both. Like I just said, you have the option of toggling between audio and transcript, but these are not timestamped, so you kind of have to guess through what part of the audio you would like to listen to. Both programs have playback options that you can switch speeds with. And for Jamworks specifically, when it comes to transcription, you can view the full recording, or you have the option of viewing the transcript according to the highlights that the AI has automatically generated. It also generates some filters. So for example, you can select the transcript by speaker if there are numerous speakers, or whatever automatically generated other filters can appear, maybe by subsections, but that you have more options for the transcription views. Next slide, please. So both software have a AI generated quiz section. For the Glean questions, we see that they generate 5 questions at a time. These questions are multiple choice, and it would show you what answers are right, which are wrong, and I give you a brief description of what questions you have to review. Jamworks, on the other hand, has about 4 or 5 questions as well, but these questions are open-ended and they give you a more detailed description of what the answer is. And it also gives you an option to highlight exactly where in the recording you can find this answer. And both these software have the option of regenerating more questions as needed. So these are great for students to just look back and kind of do some studying on their own with whatever was recorded. Next slide, please. I will go now into specific features that just Jamworks has. So for example, they have the summary and key points features. These are AI generated. So for example, Jamworks would take the whole recording of the lecture and make the summary, and they would also make the key points or an outline showing pretty much everything that was covered in the whole lecture. Next slide, please. They also have an AI chatbot. So this chatbot, you can ask specific questions of what was reviewed in class, but I have also discovered that you can also ask questions of topics that maybe weren't covered, but relate to the same topic. This is because the AI that Jamworks uses a large language model. So it takes data from, all types of sources. We also have the Jamworks also has the accessibility features. That is quite complete in my opinion. Like my partner said, Jamworks caters to disabled and neurodivergent students. So you have features, for example, for vision impaired students, ADHD friendly profiles, cognitive disability profiles, or just other features like for specific keyboard navigation or for blind students. I just showed here some of the different accessibility features, but there's plenty more to get just the right settings and views that a student may need, which is quite complete. Next slide, please. And now my partner Ishrat will be giving you some takeaways of the two.
So yes, thank you, Melissa. So throughout our presentation, we showed what we explored about Jamworks and Glean. So like all other assistive technology tools, Jamworks also has the necessary features like recording, transcription, live captioning, manual time-stamped note-taking, similar to what Glean offers. But what sets Jamwork apart its extensive range of accessibility, customizing options. It goes beyond the basics with the help of AI by automatically generating audio notes, text notes, flashcards, enabling students, the users, to stay focused during the classes. Moreover, Jamworks introduces a unique feature like Melissa mentioned, the specialized AI chatbot that enhances personalized learning by answering questions according to the preferred topic. So here we are. With Jamworks, studying becomes more efficient and enjoyable, like having a personalized study assistant by our side all the time. So this is from our end. We are open to questions.
I have a comment slash question.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm actually the professor that did the lecture that Melissa talked about. Okay. But I just wanted to make a comment. I'm very new to your area, so I might be out of what you're thinking about, but I didn't know anything about this. Melissa's a student in my class, so she um, did this analysis with this lecture. But I just want to look at the word lecture and just make a distinction, okay? Because I teach different kinds of computer classes, related classes. And sometimes a lecture is when someone speaks about something they know and they have, a constant verbal, production that you just listen to, and maybe there's questions and things like that. And that is a very common, use of the word lecture. So if I wanted to go to a lecture on French art, that's what I would expect. Okay. But that was not really what happened in Melissa's class. Okay. What we do, and I think a lot of people do, is hands-on work with something. So we did a hands-on coding exercise. Where it really wasn't a lecture per se. It was really just a discussion as we walk through the different steps to write a computer program. Okay. So I just wanted to make that point. And what I found was amazing with what she produced, she showed me a little bit of it, is that even in that sort of walkthrough workshop environment, which was not meant to be a lecture in that traditional sense, it actually did produce a lecture-like discussion of what happened. And I thought it was really very useful. And I think, and I'm not looking at it, and maybe this is incorrect for this group, but I'm not looking at it from a person with an accessibility problem. I'm just saying anybody that walked away and could look at a very interesting summary of how we walk through different functions of this software that we were looking at in different workshop type techniques. I just thought it was really very useful, to kind of see that. And I just wanted to bring that up if people are also looking at it from that angle.
So, thank you, Professor. That was very helpful and a very nice explanation of what we were trying to explain. So yes, so it's not just, that's what it is. It's not Jamworks, Glean. It is not just for students who need accessibility help, it's for everyone who needs assistance with their classes or any type of lectures they go into, because it's a lot. Like multitasking, we miss out on some sort of point or something which is important. So it comes handy always. Thank you.
And I think just one last comment, that what you just said, multitasking, I think that's what I'm in a way kind of forcing my students to do. I want them to write code as well, learn about what's going on. So they really are kind of again, this is like a workshop kind of class where you're not just sitting there taking notes or listening, you're using and coding and doing some stuff. So I just want to bring it up. So I agree with you. I think the multitasking is difficult really for anyone.
True. So true. Thank you, Professor. Yeah. Any questions?
Yes, I have a couple of questions, if I may. I'm Jose from Hunter. First thing, does I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry, it's Friday. I'm not supposed to be here.
Okay.
What's not Glean, the other one?
The Glean.
No, not Glean. The
Jamworks.
Jamworks. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know why it just went out of my mind. Jamworks, right? Does it allow you to import files like Glean does? Can you bring in external files?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. So it does pretty much the same thing. Like we have to import files like documents or slides, right? So it does help us with that as well. Yeah, same as Glean, but it's a little more improvised version with the help of AI generation of summaries and all those other different features.
Okay, cool. That's good. The second question is, have you guys tested it with the sciences and the mathematics to see how it interprets like equations and symbols, and because
yeah, good question. So Melissa showed us a demo, right? So she went on her class and did an extensive demonstration for her class. So mathematics as a whole not sure yet, but I think I would pass it on to Melissa if she can give a little brief on that.
So we have not tried a Jamworks specifically with math. And well, I think we're all pretty familiar with Glean, but no, I'm sorry, we don't know as far as math goes for this program. But from what we saw throughout our recordings, we see that it picks up the text pretty accurately, and with the AI, hand in hand with that, it helps put along together. I think it would, facilitate getting equations written correctly. I think it would work well. At least the Jamwork AI part of it would be very beneficial opposed to Glean.
I would like to add, so regarding the mathematics and science, if you go on their website, they will have a demonstration of what Jamworks is. And in their demo, they did a lecture about physics and it was able to pick up physics terms correctly with the equation. So regarding your your questions on whether or not it can pick up mathematics, if it could pick up physics, I'm pretty sure it could pick up everything else.
Okay. Well, that solves a lot of problems for us, doesn't it?
Yep.
Can I make one comment about that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was able to, with Melissa's help, of course, use Jamworks, and I looked at some computer coding. Okay, so let's say that you took, I'll make it more math oriented, like you were reading an equation, you said the sine of X. So you would say sine left parentheses, X right parentheses. I mean, that's what's really there, right? But you wouldn't really say that if you were telling somebody, you would say the sine of X or something like this, right? But it really did come out with like SIN left parentheses, like it when it was reading computer code, it really didn't read it like a functional view. I'm just giving you the math example. You may not know computer code, but it was very hard to hear it talk through a line of computer code and understand what was going on because it didn't understand like a function call and that kind of thing. In fact, I was going to ask even that I have a platform that shows code, and I was wondering if I had a platform, if I could call meaning from a software perspective, the Jamworks software, I could pass it a phrase, a section of code and tell it what the translation should be, and it would use it. Like, is it able to do that? Can a application interface with Jams and say, Jams, if you just read letter for letter, not going to work. So if you put your cursor on this part of the screen, here's what I want you to say. Can you do that?
At the moment, I'm not too sure, but on their website, they are looking for improvements or suggested features. So that could be a feature that paid users could suggest for them bringing. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm Shumon from Bronx Community College Disability Services, and actually, when I was trying both the applications, I had some questions to ask. May I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, while I was doing that one, I saw that the transcript that we can see after the classes, because I'm a note taker here for the disabled persons, and I was trying to download that transcript, but I was not able to try and download the transcript or share it with someone. Is there something that I was missing? That's the first thing.
So at the moment, that's a feature that they're adding. So the only a workaround you could do is copy and paste the provided transcript to either Word or Notepad, but that is a feature that they are planning to add.
Okay. Secondly, I was actually looking through the things, and I tried in different devices, but it was not compatible with all of them. I in the desktop it was working good, but in iPad or tab or in my phone, it was showing some problem in doing the things up. Why I'm saying that, because since we are working with the disabled people and they need it to do a lot of other stuffs, so we have to think about different people, different kind of problems, right? So I saw when they are talking, I mean, I'm recording the voice in the class, okay? It is sometimes the background noise, they're grabbing it more. It is hard to understand who is the main speaker here. So I was wondering, are you guys going to take any kind of step about that? Or is there developing still? How is it working?
Oh, well, firstly, with my experience with recording lectures, I emphasize the importance of the placement of the microphone and uh, consider where the professor is speaking from, or if he's moving around the class, because that ultimately it shows in the accuracy of the transcription itself. I think that would apply throughout any type of software though. So you just really have to pay close attention to the placement of the microphone. Preferably have it as close to the professor as possible, or if you can wear it, and that would also reduce any background noise.
One more thing I would like to add here, since I was doing work with disabled people, ADHD and all those kind of peoples, okay, the design which you have for the Jamboard, that is actually sometimes confusing for them because there are too many things there and they lose their track. I mean, for the normal people, it's fine. We are used to it using this kind of technologies a lot. But for them, I mean, a bit confusing because there are too many things. The structure of is not that much clear where everything is placed. So could we do anything to make that better? Because I saw this option for the, I mean, for the accessibility in the left side, but that thing is not included there for the ADHD. So I was wondering, is there anything like that?
So I guess I see what you mean. And I did kind of snip everything together, or as much as I could, because again, there was much more settings than what I just showed. But if you do just one initial setup, you don't have to do it any other time. And in that setup, you know, you just leave it as close or as good as you know you may need, according to whatever accommodations you may specifically need. So I guess us as AT specialists, we can help with that setup, you know, that first setup. But once it's set, you know, they're gonna not have any other distractions or any additional things that they may not need. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Quick question. So does this mean that CATS is looking into obtaining the licenses for Jamworks?
So I can answer that, Tanya, here. We're still looking into it. I mean, for Glean, we have pretty much until November when our licenses expire and we're going to have to renew again. So we have some time to really think if we want to transition over to Jamworks. So right now, we don't have a set answer on what we're going to continue with.
Because I hear Glean is going up in prices.
Yeah, that's what they told me as well. So we don't have prices yet for Jamworks, but we're going to be looking into it. We definitely had a long establishment with Glean. I mean, first it was Sonocent, and then it transitioned into Glean, and yeah, it'll definitely be something new if we actually move forward with Jamworks.
And then there's I think you briefly touched upon the confidentiality concerns with certain subjects and matters, because I'm assuming that everything is housed in the cloud. All the content is housed in the cloud, or can it be brought down locally to the local machine? Does that make sense?
Oh, so what? I can answer the question. Okay, so what happens with the Jamworks or Glean is it's mostly we have it. We directly have it on our system and we use it from there. But transitioning it to the cloud is the next step they're working on, I guess. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Is there a consensus on which way to go with you guys? Does anybody like one over the other?
I personally prefer Jamworks. Oh, well, because of their AI features, I think it's a very, very cool option. You know, it has so many capabilities. Just with the AI chatbot, for example, or with the flashcards, the quizzes. I think that's a deal breaker for students. They can really, you know, get some really help. It's a good help from it.
And Jose, you were around long enough when we did the compare and contrast with other ATs. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. I just thought of something, and I think, Ben, you probably thought about it. Now, I know now with chat DBT, what it's called, that there's a lot of concerns with integrity. Now, I'm wondering if with Jamworks, if students are going to be using it to record notes and to write papers based on that information, is that going to fall under that same kind of legality? Because now there's software that detects the AI, right? And our professors are going to be seeing that and saying, "Wait a minute, I can't accept this because it's." You know, you see what I'm going with it?
Yeah, so well, they should not be using this to write their papers. But this is for the notes.
Right, but they can use notes to generate the notes and transfer the notes to papers.
Yeah, but they can't just copy and paste and say that's their work.
Well, they can do anything they want, pretty much.
They can, they should get caught.
Yeah.
So the thing regarding ChatGPT is that because Jamworks is a open source AI, which is based off of chat, a lot of like the info you get, it heavily depends on whether or not the subject that you're talking about is widely known. And students should always do like the due diligence to actually look up if the source is correct. They shouldn't just blindly copy. As for your concern about students making ChatGPT do their work, like writing their paper, there's plenty of softwares that are out there that could detect whether or not the paper is AI written compared to a human written. So if that's your main concern, there are softwares for that.
Thank you, John. And that is that's not the discussion here though, because that's a different discussion on how to catch people plagiarizing and such. But I think you guys are trying to decide which is the better software here to move forward with, and that's going to go with pricing.
I say, like personally, as a engineering student, the highlight from Jamworks is a huge thing because sometimes the professor might go into a complicated like subject, and you'll be lost in. So the highlights would really help, like you focus on that one point that the lecture may not be where you're not too strong on, and you could always go back to the highlight to a restudy or to like comprehend it in a better sense.
But is that going to make them a little lazier, you think? I listen, I think the program is great. I think I see a lot of potential, and I think it is the way to go forward in the future because, like Ben said, we've been around for a while. We've seen a lot of changes productively. But at the same time, if you depend on technology to do a lot of your work for you, then how much thinking are you going to do yourself? You know, in terms of generating notes and things like that. I mean, you know, that's something to think about.
So the argument with that is that before we had all this, when students like self-study, they would have the notes there. what this does is just it skips the steps of them having to write the notes, where they're still gonna have to go back and restudy or rehash like their subject. It's not like directly helping them let's say cheat on tests, because you still have to know like the subject. The AI there's just as a tool to simplify a lot of the steps you would need to have to help you study.
Yes, so what I would try to sum up with this, so these kind of AI-powered platforms are more tool to improve learning, the learning style of students, rather than it's not a substitute for critical thinking or comprehensive skills. So yeah, it's basically just for students to improve their learning.
I have a question. My name is Manuel Mantilla. I'm the newly appointed Director of Student Disability Service at Baruch College. I've been here for a month, so I'm really curious about a lot of things and how things are working. Have we thought about doing a case study or a cohort of students to see if, dependent on which one would be the best useful for our students, aside from you guys?
So the issue with that is because but before this, I was supposed to do the recording for the compare and contrast between Jamworks and Glean with my engineering classes, but because there is a recording policy with the engineering department here, I couldn't do it. That's why I had my coworker Melissa do it. So with that, like a study case, it really depends on whether or not the head of the department and the professor like will allow it. So because like a lot of professors like are kind of like are like iffy with a recording like their lecture, because like they don't want their stuff to be posted online. So
Right, John, let me jump in, John. So when we give it as an accommodation, the professors really can't refute it. You know, they can, in certain instances, try to do a reasonable alternative. But what you're saying, Manuel, is a very good point. And before we actually change and jump ship from one software that we've been using throughout the university to another, we will use it and enlist it and do some more comparisons. So this is a compare and contrast introductory to you guys. See what your thoughts are if you've been using it, show you what we've come up with. And we're not ready to make that decision yet, but we can put it into classrooms and actually see. Okay, so before we actually do that, that's when we have two competitive softwares. We usually go flush it out completely. So in John's case, it didn't work. He's not a student with a disability. They didn't allow him, but we can put it into classrooms with students with disabilities and try and have a few to see how they're actually, you know, how it's working. But there's more work to be done before we jump from one large contract to another. And nice to meet you, Manuel. I think I saw you at Kazi last week.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. No, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, besides the back work and like these have accommodations, we got approved, spoke to the professor. I want to see if my students with disabilities are like, which one works best for them. And then that'll be the number, the data that we can support with like whatever major transition. But thank you. I appreciate it.
So you're volunteering your students, right?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So we do it slowly. I mean, we do it in stages. So yes, we do need to do some cohorts of students and actually see before we do a complete change.
Sounds good. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to hijack this. Whoever's speaking, go right ahead.
Does anybody else have questions that need to be answered?
Only one last question before we end up. The thing is, like, I mean, I cannot keep myself quiet in this case because I saw this very beautiful feature in there that you can draw and write by your hand and add that thing in your note taking, and it's a really nice one. But I was wondering why I couldn't download that thing because I can add it, everything's fine, but I cannot download it afterwards when the class is finished. When I come into my room to download, make the note ready for the student, then I couldn't download that thing. Is there any other way that I don't know how to download it?
At the moment, I don't think there is. That'll probably fall under the umbrella of downloading your transcript with like the edits and stuff. So I'm assuming they're also like adding that feature with the ability to be able to download your transcript.
So that's one con, correct, John? And Glean allows you to do it, if I can ask you?
I don't think Glean has that feature where you could like edit with the pen and stuff.
So neither
Neither.
package is allowing.
Neither.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So this is where you guys can actually contact the companies and ask them about these features.
Any other questions?
Not from my part. Thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any more questions or comments?
Thank you guys for doing a great presentation, and this looked very helpful. And now we know the next stage is Tanya.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump out and let you guys continue. Good seeing you guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
all
you,
for
guys.
joining us. We'll all definitely keep in touch. Thank you, Manuel, for bringing up the case study. We'll definitely get started on that. That seems like it'll be helpful to see which direction we
Yes, and let me know how my office or my team can jump on that. So, because I know licenses have to get renewed in November, summer's about to hit, so if we can get that
Yeah.
all rolling, let's do it.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. And again, this session was recorded, so we're going to be sending it out as soon as it's captioned.